Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. One voice, one club. One voice, one club. The Chelsea Avengers are coming together and they have had enough. They've had it enough. Hope everyone is well. Obviously, there's only a few of you here to start with, but I hope you have had a good Friday. As much as you can, anyways. But yeah, it's come out now that there is going to be a scheduled protest on the 17th of January versus Brentford at 1 o'clock. I'm just going to share my screen and so you can see everything in terms of what is going on. Give me 2 seconds. Two seconds, guys. Okay, it's not going to allow me to do this. Right. Select tab. Right. So, this is from Jem himself. And not just Jem, but many other fans. So, we have got the likes of Pies, Con as well, CFC TV doing this as well, Lewis. They're all coming out. Chelsea fan protests against Badag Ebali and the sporting directors. Chelsea versus Brentford. It's on the 17th of January at the Britannia Gate at Stamford Bridge at 1 p.m. So what is it exactly that we are actually asking for? We're asking for a clear accountability, the end of this micromanagement culture, flexibility over volume, football expertise and priorities at board level, proper manager support, a Chelsea that competes seriously in both Premier League and Champions League. One club, one voice. A change must occur. So obviously below here, what the guys have done is they've put together a statement. Not sure if you guys can see this at all, but I'm going to go through everything. But like I said, if any of you would like to come up on stage as well, please do. It'd be interesting to hear your views. But essentially, it goes as follows. This is a statement from Chelsea supporters. Chelsea supporters are encouraged to join a peaceful fan-led protest on the afternoon of our home fixture against Brentford, which takes place at 3 o'clock on January 17th. The protest will take place outside the Britannia Gate from 1 p.m. This is a moment that demands unity, clarity and action from the fan base that has stood together before, most notably the Super League. When Chelsea supporters unite, we make a difference. This moment demands the same unity again. But just to obviously clarify, this is a peaceful fan-led protest by Chelsea supporters who feel increasingly disconnected from the leadership and direction of the club. This is not an individual. This is not about individual players. This is not about online point scoring, and it's not about scapegoating one manager. This protest is about the ownership model and the sporting structure led by Eghbali, now driving the Chelsea Football Club. So just to take note, obviously since the takeover, Chelsea fans, Chelsea has been run less like an elite club, more like a player trading farm, focused on churn, speculation, and long-term potential and expense on present-day competitiveness. Responsibility for the direction lies with the current leadership of Eghbali, alongside the sporting directors of Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, Joe Shields, Sam Jewell, and the rest of the sporting leadership team. They have been entrusted with the football strategy, recruitment, and squad building. Simply put, they have failed. They have failed to meet the standards required at Chelsea and the history and the ambition of this club. So in reality, so what do we all know? So we all know that we have had record spending, squad instability, failed strategy, and let's be honest, managerial chaos. We recognise the ambition shown through record levels of spending, but spending alone is not progress. Execution is vital. Despite the outlay, Chelsea are no closer to competing for the league titles, automatic Champions League, and qualification is looking increasingly unlikely. And qualification for next season's competitions has been thrown up in the air by yet another managerial change due to hierarchy's own inability to micromanage on the head coach. This points to failure of the strategy and leadership, not resources. Across football, it is widely accepted, but most importantly proven, that a number of elite ready-made signings in key positions can raise standards quickly and lead to the best chance of consistency competing across a whole season. Instead, Chelsea have prioritised long-term potential while sacrificing the present leading and inconsistent performances. While our rivals strengthen to win now, Chelsea fans continually are being asked to wait. In year 1 or 2, we could accept this stance, not year 4 of the project. We understand private equity ownerships. We understand the private equity ownerships and the need to grow the club value, but the most proven way to increase football club's value is simple: win major honours consistently. Chelsea had an opportunity to build momentum in the summer. This opportunity was missed and the club has been set further back. Instead, Chelsea have prioritised long-term potential while sacrificing the present, leading to inconsistent performances. So I think it's very simple, guys, what we're asking for here. Clear accountability, end of micromanagement culture, flexibility over volume, board stability, proper manager support, and most of all, championship ambition. And that was done by, I think, all the collective of the guys together. And I think this has really been well done and put together. So well done to everyone who's been involved in that. But essentially, that is the statement. You guys can see the statement if you're in the Discords. So if you have a look at that in all the Discords, I'll put the Discord link in a second. But Jem, Pies, Con, the guys at CFC Fan TV, Lewis as well, they have all come together and compiled this, and they felt enough is enough. And I totally agree with them. Sorry, I think that it is the right time. And I know with protests, there's a lot of grey areas around them, but I feel these big boys are now getting involved from a volume point of view. And make no mistake about it, these guys follow them as well. They know what they're doing. They always follow them. They keep an eye. And they probably were expecting something, but I don't think they're expecting something so formal like this. Last year, yes, there was a protest, but I think this year there's a little bit of weight behind it. There's a strategy behind it. And good on them for doing this as well. But I'd like to say hello to everyone, obviously, who's in there. Obviously, there's 16 of you, so thank you all for joining at such a time. But yeah, Toby, I totally agree. Let's get them. I think it's time. They need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable for what they're doing. They can't keep hiding behind these strategies, these briefs. It's not right. Everyone was laughing at the likes of Minerals at the start when he was doing this, but he was right about it. I think we were all quite naive because we were giving it time, but we have given it enough time now, and I think we've all been very patient, and I think time is enough. It is enough. Rhino, good to see you. Hope you're well. Will I be going, Toby? I will see. Probably, because I think I need to feel like I'm a part of this. Yeah, I've felt frustrations before. And being in the UK, especially in this part of where I live, I'm not too far from being in London. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to. I think I want to as well. I think it's the correct time to do it. And I think, unfortunately, when it does come to protests, and this is where obviously I think a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at it, is of course consistency. But I think the guys at Chelsea Fan TV and a lot of these guys, they go at home, they go away. They've got a large subscription following. They've got a large following on every platform. And I do believe now is the time to do it. And Toby, look, I'm sure people won't frown if you can't make it. And I do not think that at all. There's obviously no pressure. Everyone's disgusted in their own ways, whether you're, able to vent and just get your vent out on social media, do that. If you just feel angry at home, do it. There is no pressure to do it. There's no judgment if you don't want to go either. I get it. There's lives. You've got, everyone's got life. Life takes over, unfortunately, over for Chelsea Football Club. And I know we all love Chelsea, but, life does take over. Could it be a kind of Super League level protest? We don't know. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens, because look what happened when we did that Super League protest last time. It was incredible effort from the Chelsea fans, what they did that day. And it's not forgotten. It's absolutely not forgotten. San, good to see you as well. So you said, remember when Roman said yes to Todd and not Clearlake? And that is very key. Todd Boehly and not Clearlake. I think the only moment now we can actually hold on to, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen, is if Clearlake leave and Todd Boehly takes over and is able to buy the shares in some capacity. Will it happen? I don't know. Is it going to take more than one protest? 100%. But we've got to make a start somewhere, and I think the guys have had enough, and I think all fans have really. So it's going to be very interesting to see in the next couple of days the momentum and what we're going to do. This is all very fresh and new to me as well, guys. I only got told today by people. So I'm very much the same as you guys in understanding what's happening here. But I'm glad there's something about to happen, because I think it is necessary. And I know people might roll their eyes at it, but I don't know what else we can do. We can vacate our seats. They'll just fill it up with corporate. Everyone's always going to buy merch no matter what. But if we can make noise and make a nuisance and disrupt and give them bad publicity, I think there's something which can happen here. But it can only happen with numbers, and it can only happen with consistency. Cal here, so he's saying if we manage to disband from the Super League and this was the first domino in its demise, then we can definitely do at least something. And I totally agree. I mean, look, when the Super League thing was going through, everyone was like, that's it, it's done. So you never know. You never know what happens. You never know what happens. There's the big man himself, Jem. So Jem's obviously tweeted as well. So I'm going to put this tweet in the chat. Share, like. I'm just going to pin it now. Share, like it. Share it as much as possible. We need to get the awareness out there. And I know there's certain people who've got larger followings than others. I've got the mighty 100 followers, and I appreciate every single one of you. I've shared it. So if I can share it, you can share it. But yeah, Jem is currently out at the moment, but if he can make it, he can make it. But he's done his job. He's gone into these meetings. He's got his Avengers together with all the others, and they're going for it. Well, one quick question. If there is the Chelsea Avengers together, who do you reckon Jem is? Who do you reckon Jem is out of that? I think he's the Hulk. He's the big man, bulldozing through. Hassan saying, guys, please make people aware the next season new rule states you're only allowed to spend 85% of your total revenue. Now is the best time to boycott. And that's true. With all these kind of infringements coming in as well, I mean, to be honest, I think this is the least they deserve, this ownership for what they've done. I think Chelsea fans in general have been incredibly, incredibly patient. I mean, I lost it pretty much series 1.5, 2 maximum. So yeah, it's gonna be momentous, put it that way. I believe that this could start to change things, not necessarily in terms of them changing their strategy, but it might just give the confidence to the likes of a Todd Boehly or something like that to go, look, we need to start getting involved here because the investments are going to start changing. Clearlake might even go, look, we're all happy with noise. All noise is probably good noise, but it gets to a point that, you know, it's not just Chelsea fans now. Rossini is going to go, and they've almost, there's not been even an ounce of care for their sister club as well. So imagine your main club, Chelsea, and your sister club are getting the worst noise about them from the fans protesting or whatever. You're even getting higher up now. I think it's Mark Keller from Strasbourg. He's going to leave. They want out. No one wants to be a part of this institution anymore. It's embarrassing. And what happens is that they keep their little cronies together. It's like any series you watch, whether it's a Game of Thrones or whatever, you get this horrible leader who's got all this power, but he's got this power out of fear. He's got his yes men. If you question, you're out of the job. Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, they're on nice little pay packages, I reckon. So of course they're not going to say anything. They want to keep this going because once they're gone, they can just go right into Saint-Tropez or wherever they're going to bloody go. Cal said, remember the quote last night from Eghbali literally says he doesn't care about what happens to Strasbourg. And what do you think about that? He probably doesn't even care about Chelsea at this point. And you know what was actually funny about this whole thing? Their statement was that we've still got 4 championship, or we've got 4 trophies to still play for in this league. But then all of a sudden, Sky Carver said, Carabao Cup's not really, priority actually. So it's just all a load of rubbish. It's a load of rubbish. Ange is here. Nice to see you, Ange. I hope you're well on this Circus Friday and the 2nd of Jan. I'm sure a lot of people have gone back to work today. So big up to every one of you who's gone back to work today. Carlos, what are you saying here? So all of this is because Eghbali got his feelings hurt. Poor guy. And unfortunately, with billionaires, they cannot be proven wrong. They cannot be proven wrong. Billionaires are very much an empty vessel, makes the loudest noise. They're a big fish in their little pond where they got their little cronies going, yes, Eghbali and all this. Please. And it's all been, everyone's read through it. Not just now. People read through this seasons ago. Seasons ago. It's just what's happened now is I think it's not just 80% of the fans. I think it's 100% now. There's a general consensus here that we got to change this now. And not only now, but quick. So I think it's going to get worse and worse. So, yeah. Look, guys, if you want to come on stage as well, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the bio, in the chat, sorry. So if you guys would like to come up and have your say on things, please do. I'm just putting it up now. So it's already there. So no, that is not. That is the tweet. Let me just get up the... let me just get this up here. Hopefully this will show. Perfect. Right, I've added the StreamYard link in there now, guys. So if you'd like to join, please do. It'll be great to have a chat with you guys on here, but obviously we can chat through here. There's 20 of you here at the moment, so thank you all for joining. There's only 10 likes, so if you can push up as much as you can, these likes, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are on this at all in terms of the protest. Do you think it's going to work? Do you believe it's going to be successful? Do you think there's going to be numbers going? Yeah, what is everyone's thoughts? Heiser, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Pybus, good to see you. I'm still going to back whoever is the next manager until they don't deserve. Yeah, and this is one thing, right? I think out of all of this is, look, I think this Rossini looks like a nice guy. I think he's driven. He's clearly, got a good football brain on him. I just personally believe it's a step too far for now. You never know in the future of many managers. But, oh, Heiser, sorry. It's Ted, CFC Ted. Good to see you, sorry. But yeah, I think anyone who's kind of going to go against him immediately, I think that's not fair. Really, I think we've got to, as a collective, support regardless, whoever's in charge until the bitter end, like you're saying, Pybus. I think it's something we got to ensure is there's support behind him. But the irony is obviously, as the brief circulating out about him, is that he's actually asked about what's going on in January. I mean, you can't write it. So he's obviously looking at it and going, I need to know what's going on in January. Are we going to bring your reinforcements in? It's crazy. It's crazy. Toby's saying, I hope the match starts at 4 p.m. Block the road, block the entrance. Yeah, I mean, could we even go to a level of Man United where they even storm the pitch? I remember that. That was crazy. Yeah, it's just it's a really sad time as a Chelsea fan, especially from like a personal standpoint as well. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for everyone else, but Chelsea's your kind of real number one love when it's your first love. Sorry, and Everyone supports him from a very young age, whether you're my age and you kind of saw it slightly before the Abramovich era, and even if you were born in the Abramovich era, I don't think I felt so disconnected, not from the players, but just from where we're going as a club. I think we can all understand that, look, we're not going to win trophies every year. And if you're one of those fans, I'm all for it, because it shows that you want that as a fan, that you expect that. And I get that. But I think a lot of the fans as well just expect to be competitive. Be competitive on the pitch. Be competitive off the pitch. Have a strong strategy. This strategy they're doing, I feel, is just gaslighting the fans. And I think they just know what they're doing now. It's almost like the cloak's been taken off of what they actually want to do. And they've gone, nah, we don't care. We're just going to carry on. So, yeah, it's sad, but I think it's justifiable what we're doing now. There's a few more of you here. So, when Chelsea change manager, new manager come, they'll win trophies always. No worries, bro. When Chelsea change manager, the new manager comes, they'll win trophies always. And in the old era, I'd say yes. So, yeah, I totally agree. All I'm going to say is Di Matteo won the Champions League with us and he never had any experience. And this is where, David or Pybus, whatever you prefer to be called, that's very true. But you've got to remember what sort of players we had at that time as well. We still had that culture of being those killers on the pitch. We had killers on the board as well. We had a killer owner who was just lethal. So I just don't think they're like this. Unfortunately, I think what they've got now is they've got their coach. They've got that yes man who's just going to go with it. So even though, yes, I agree with what you're saying from an ability standpoint from the manager, it's a completely different era. It's a completely different time as a Chelsea club. The culture is different. Carly, good to see you. Feel a bit like I'm being forced to feel a certain way. If we don't back the protest, I'm not a real fan. I won't be emotionally blackmailed into it, but people have every right. And this is what I was saying from the start, Carly. Look, I'm on here to raise awareness for it. And I'm here to tell people that, look, if you want to protest and you want to join, you're there for it. If you want to just get angry in your own space, you don't want to tweet, don't want to do anything, I'm all for that as well. I respect anyone's decision. There's only a certain amount of energy people can put into this club. And some people want to protest. Some people are just going, do you know what? Is it going to go anywhere? I respect that decision too. So whatever you guys want to do, and this is definitely what I want to get in this video. This isn't a pressure piece. Of course, if you would like to share Jem's tweet, please do. But if you don't, absolutely fine. Not a problem. Not a problem. You've got to remember, obviously, this is a peaceful protest as well. We just want to share our views. We're not happy. But I agree with what Carly's saying. You shouldn't be blackmailed into any decision you want to do. So, Carly, you're right there. And that's for everyone as well. Don't feel forced into it. If you're not wanting to do it, you're not too interested, I'm all respectful for that. And that's absolutely fine. Natalie saying you're done with the ownership. All here for it, 100%. Mr. GG, but does it matter who the coach is when the medical team is advising the coach on when to do the substitutions, even if the player can play more minutes? When I started reading this, I thought it was crazy. I just thought it was absolutely crazy. But am I shocked? Probably not. Yes, I understand this. There's probably always going to be kind of discrepancies between the manager and potentials of the fitness team, having discussions, even small disputes about how much they can play. But at the end of the day, if you're getting told, they're greenlit to play, and then you're having to take them off, I mean, I don't know who we all think that is. I think it's quite clear. Obviously, your Palmer recently, probably Reece James as well. Well, obviously, they said he played 3 games in a row. Fofana as well, probably. But this all stems back to, okay, right, if these players are very fragile, then we should have brought reinforcements, quality reinforcements, may I add, to help them out, so that Maresca didn't have to have these discussions and going, right, I need to play Reece these games because we got no one else. Yes, I know we got Gusto, but I can't remember at that period of time why that was the case, whether it was Gusto not performing, but he has had quite a good season so far. So I can't remember the dates, but there's obviously a reason why Maresca played him those times. So, and I remember Maresca saying it, especially it was when we won the Europa Conference, and I think Joe Carl was saying about Reece James, and Maresca was saying, look, if I could, I'd be playing him every game. So he was under scrutiny last year. But my theory behind all of this is that I believe what happened is that these sporting directors have got a history of maybe over-promising and under-delivering. And I think what they've probably said to Maresca is saying, look, you get us top four, but you tell the world that, look, there's no pressure, but we need top four. Win the Europa Conference and get as far as you can in the Club World Cup. You got us top four, got the Europa Conference, and he won the Club World Cup. And what's irritating is they believe that it was them who did that when it was him. It was him. He completely outsmarted Enrique in that game. So I believe they overpromise and underdeliver. And I think what's happened is they said, look, you get these objectives, we'll get this for you, we'll get this and that, blah, 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 blah. And it never happened. So, Carly, I know that wasn't a dig at me. Absolutely not. I want to make sure that people are aware of this as well, because I would never want to get pressured into anything. So I think it's just quite a momentous moment that, getting everyone together and trying to share the message across. So if people are wanting to protest, they know that there is other people who are willing to do it as well. There's a location. We're going to do it peacefully, etc. So no, I knew that wasn't a dig at me. Dreamer, sorry, I've just been ranting, but I hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Unfortunately, on this beautiful week we've had as Chelsea fans. So, Mr. GG, always wonder what this ownership is selling to get the manager. Are they saying we'll micromanage you so they get on board? This is what I'm saying. I believe what they're selling is that, look, we've got this exciting project where we are trying to find the young, exciting talents, but we want your expertise to build them and develop them into world-class players. Look at what we've got so far. We've brought Palmer in. We've got Enzo Fernandez. We've got Caicedo. They're your core experience. But what we want to do is just utilize your coaching skills and bringing it all together. And then it's basically stroking their egos into a full sense of security to go, look, they trust me with my skills here or there. But then I think what happens is that they then get into the role, and then you're like, oh, geez, the cloak's been taken off now. This is actually what's happening. And then you got the shackles on. Then you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought at all. These players aren't what I need at all. I need this player or this player. Well, we can get you this player. Oh, you don't want that player. You can disagree. It's a complete mess. Mr. GG, I don't know. I think, to be fair, it's just I can't believe anything that they would ever come out with now anyways. And I think the proof is in the pudding here. You're seeing a lot of managers rejecting. Yes, I understand that it's more potential timings as well. But I do believe as well, even if it was the summer, Glasner wouldn't be coming. Fabregas isn't stupid to join. He's at Como doing a good job developing there. Do you think we want Frank Lampard back? I want him to go on his own journey. He is smashing it at Coventry. Do your thing. I just don't know. Hassan, wrong link. What's that? What link's that? Is that the StreamYard one I've put through? If you just let me know. Booker, I'm never in support of physical protest. It never worked. Billionaires are not afraid of protest. The only thing they fear is losing money. We're dealing with authoritarians. And this is the argument I can see as well. Were they expecting probably something? Probably. Do they care? No. But I think there has to be a large enough scale of disruption to be able to do that. So, yeah. even though I'd agree with what you're saying about these physical protests, this is what I was saying about numbers and consistency. It's the only way you're going to do it. Let me get the new link then for you. That's absolutely fine. Right, let me get the link. Where do I find the link for you? Here it is. Right, sorry, I'm just adding it in now. Let me just check if that's the correct one. Right, sorry, still very new to this whilst Jem is currently away. So hopefully that would have posted now. So hopefully that's the new StreamYard link. So if anyone would like to join and have their piece in it, please do. So yeah, so sorry, Booker, again, you were saying Strasbourg fans have been protesting for years and nothing's changed. Bluecoat's pretty much used to it now. I don't think Chelsea fans can protest as well as Strasbourg. And that I can agree. I mean, you know, they're having French blood in my family. I know how volatile and aggressive we can be as personalities. So I can agree. Obviously, they've got an ultra fan base as well. But look, I think if you're on the side of the protest, I think you've got to allow and respect what people want to do. Yes, of course, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But I wouldn't disregard them for their efforts, because it's a clear frustration on all of us. And if they want to protest, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And will I turn up? I will see. I probably will. But if you don't want to go, that doesn't mean you're any less of a fan. You just have your own frustrations, you show it in your own way. So have a look. Yes, sorry. So Toby here, not a project at CFC, is the Twitter account set up for the protest. Okay, great. Information will be put on there. That's fantastic. So guys, if you're on Twitter, this is obviously the page which they're going to have. So if anyone who is interested in the protest or just interested in general about what's going on, that is the Twitter tag for it to go on. So yeah, that's where you need to go. Right, Hassan, let me try and find this link. I don't know what is happening here for you, the reason why you can't join. Right. Oh, here we go. Silly me. Third time's a charm, son. Have a look at that one. Right, so and you're saying I'm getting more comfortable on stream. Doesn't feel like it being on the other side of the camera. It's still quite stressful, but we're trying to get there. We're trying to get there, I suppose. And unfortunately, at this time, it's very difficult to have fun on here. So
there we go.
Sorry it took so long. I hope you're well, my friend.
No, it's fine. Don't worry, man. I thought I'll make a rare guest panel appearance on this old channel.
I've seen your profile picture, so yeah, I can gauge where your views are with things.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'm also the one that set up the Iqbali outpost that circulated all over X. So, yeah, like what you said before, man. This ownership is a massive mess, man. Like, from what I've heard as well from Louis as well, it's basically two consortiums that merged into one. And the article, when we read it as they were both familiar with one another. But apparently so they're not that familiar. They just, like old business acquaintances. The only time they ever met was for business reasons, like whether it was in Saudi, whether it was a Saudi business or whatever it was. And you know how the PR spin that these guys always do is absolutely phenomenal. So essentially, you got Borley, who wants to build it like the Dodgers, like what he does with his other teams. Like he'll get the main profile players like Sterling, Koulibaly, the big name players on big wages, and build a Galactico. And then you have your other side, which is the project that we're doing now, the youth players, the asset protection, the long term, the market flipping. That's all Iqbali side. And Iqbali is the face of, Blueco and Clear Lake Capital. So you got two separate views that are merged into one that decided to buy the club. Like,
Yeah.
what do you expect? What do you expect to happen? You're going to clash at every decisions because your philosophies are two separate philosophies. You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's that saying about too many cooks ruin the broth, and I certainly think that's what's happened now. You've got the big figurehead at the top, and then it just spirals into so many different decision makers. And I think you're quite right about Bowley as well. You know, yes, I know he didn't quite get it right when he was there, but to be honest, I don't think anyone was, and I think that's why a lot of us, really, for the first couple of seasons, could appreciate the
You
efforts
could,
because what was happening. was-
yeah, with Bowley, right? You could only appreciate like what he did because we're not angry that they flopped because who would predict Sterling would flop? Who would predict Koulibaly would flop? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're big name players. You always have to go for the best of what you got now. So, like right now in the market, if Bowley was to take over a centre back, a big name centre back would be Bastoni from Inter. You know what I mean? Like there's only a very few big names that you could go for, and Bowley would just go for it. Whether they flop, that's a different story. How many big name players have we brought to Chelsea or flopped?
But I think the direction was very clear, and I think unfortunately, my views are is that I think we're all would wish for now that Bowley would somehow be able to put his small consortium together to try and buy out Clearlake. I don't see that happening. The only way I see it happening is that it gets so catastrophically bad for them, not from a outside noise point of view, but I purely think from a strategy point of view that they start really losing money and they're starting to see the green arrow going down like this and going to red in their spreadsheets. I think that's their only way of doing it. And then what they'll do is they'll potentially offer whoever it is to buy them out. I blimmin' hope it wouldn't be internally within their Clearlake portfolio that someone would try and buy it that way. But that's my only views on it. I mean, what are your thoughts about obviously this whole Maresca thing happening? I mean, I think it's Alex from Chelsea Fan TV on Talk Sport today, and I completely agree with him. I think this Maresca sacking was almost not from an internal point of view. Tuchel was a huge part of my heart. He was almost top two managers for me. But I think from a point as a club, I think this is a lower point for Chelsea because I felt Maresca was at that point where he was becoming the anchor for Chelsea to kind of calm it down in terms of performances. Yes, I know that we've had a poor run recently, but I think we kind of understand now that it's more of a personnel issue. And I felt he was starting to almost be the best of a bad bunch in terms of the strategy they wanted to go with. And he started to grow and develop and get confident. And I do feel that since Tuchel going, this is the kind of lowest point, I think, from their tenure. I think it's a really poor decision they've made to do this. And I mean, clearly it might be that it was mutual. If it was mutual, okay. But even if it was that Maresca actually left as well, I think it's even worse.
I think like what you said before with the whole mutual situation, I think that's just the PR statement. Like, that they're both, of course, like, let's be honest, all the managers like Potter, Poch, and Maresca would have had a payout package or a termination package, but on paper, they was just spinning out as mutual consent. Because it would be bad if it came out that Poch, Potter, and Maresca didn't want to continue on the project. You know what I mean? It's just bad news for and bad image for them. They have to protect their own image when it comes to this situation.
Yeah, I understand. I completely understand. I am listening. I'm just trying to get a tweet up, and this is where the annoying part of where we had playback before is that you could get tweets up and start to share your screen, whereas now I don't have Twitter on my laptop or my computer, which is my fault. So I was trying to get a tweet up as well, which Toby was saying about. So Pies tweeted out that apparently a player's not happy. It'd be potentially interesting to see what it is. If anyone's following me on Twitter and has that tweet, if we can,
you can just copy and paste it down in the chat and you'll be able to bring it up.
Yeah, it's just I'm on a back end of StreamYard, so I can't really copy and paste tweets. So where's Uncle Gemma? He is currently out. To be honest, he's probably absolutely exhausted of talking about this, and I don't blame him. So Mike, good to see you. I hope you're well. I'm glad that you're back as well. I hope you can get your Twitter back as well. It's crazy. But yeah, so the Maresca bit's already done. Very clearly, we're going to get Rosenior. What are your thoughts on that? How
Maresca. I tried to, in a way, I tried to say that it's not his fault in a sense. I feel like from looking at it from the outside perspective, and I've been doing quite a bit of research on the signings that we have done as well. The project that we're doing, that under 23, I don't know what the exact age limit is, but I'll just keep it for simple purposes. I'll keep it under 23s. So the signings that we have done on under 23s, and I've said it in the group chat before as well, the average total professional career appearances when they signed for us is 45.7. So they've only kicked the ball for 45 games. And that's what, like 700-800 million pounds of our signings. And what I mean, for Maresca's standpoint, what can you do? Like, you asked for a centre back, you asked for a goalkeeper, you asked for a striker, and all you're doing is signing Garnacho, Gittins, and a wonder kid from South America for 20 million. It's like, these owners, they're such pathological liars. They say that, Maresca had total control. And you're telling me that Maresca said yes to a Brazilian wonder kid from South America for 20 million? They also said that Maresca, said yes, but didn't meet Garnacho. Well, Garnacho said he met Maresca before the plans, and you know how it is. It's like the news is coming out like there's two contradictory sides, and I just don't know what to say.
It's just historical, really, that the whole time the briefs never make sense because it's so reactionary, the briefs, that they try to just amend the narrative to kind of fit. So
it's like Maresca had this problem. They also said, obviously, for StreamYard and YouTube purposes, they said that Tuchel did things while he was at Chelsea, which obviously I can't say on StreamYard. He had substances, let's say that. And you know how it is, man. They tried to always throw the manager under the bus. They said that Potter was a total mess, Poch was this, Poch was that. I can't remember the exact sayings. And I just don't know what to say about Maresca, because it's interesting because his league, if you look at his league win percentage, it was dropping just about 50%. So in a way, I can kind of see why people want Maresca out in that sort of sense. But I just don't know, because I can't judge the manager unless the squad's good enough to win the league and Champions League. Can you win the league and Champions League with the squad? I don't know.
Well, and I think this was what the difficult thing was, right, is that certainly last year myself, I was not happy with Maresca. But then the more I was thinking about it, I thought, well, hang on. If we let him go, who are we going to go for? So it was more, from my mind, I thought we've got to try and have stability. And then he started to build momentum, and we started to see him kind of challenging with the big boys. And we thought, oh, this is very good. And, it kind of then was making me more confident in him. Very quickly, I don't know if there's any mods in here, but if anyone can someone ban Nkunku? I can't bear these messages anymore.
I'll try to ban
him. Sorry, I'm sure you're a nice guy, mate, but I've had this on playback and everything before. I'm really bored of it now. It's really crass and just really rude. Like, we're here to talk about Chelsea, and there might be younger people in here as well. So if someone can ban him, please, I would appreciate it, because I'm sick of it now.
Yeah, I'll fit him.
Have you done it?
Yeah, I just quickly did it for you.
Thanks, mate. Andrew, I'm not sure why you're a mod. Unfortunately, I don't have full control of the YouTube channel, so I'll have to let Jem.
I'm sure Jem will sort it all out.
I've had it for a few, I bit my tongue, and it's just rude stuff over and over again. I'm just really bored of it, like touch grass. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think what you were saying though with regards to Maresca. Obviously, I've lost track now. This is what annoys me.
Yeah. It was when I was saying, I'll give you a rough recap. Like, the contradictions about Garnacho saying that he never met him. The average signings, professional appearances was 45.7. I forgot to also mention as well, we signed Cassidy, who had zero professional game in his life for 15 million, yada, yada, yada. It's just like, like his tools weren't that good to, compete. And right at the start of the season, correct me if I'm wrong, they only said that top 4 was only necessary and the rest of the thing is just go as far as you can. And now all of a sudden they want to compete in all 4. Like, which is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know, and this is where the contradictory stuff comes in. So I'm just going to segue us into, let's have a look. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share, it was a tweet from Pies. Not sure if you guys can see this. Can you guys
we could see
this? Yeah. So one source has been told by senior player how Maresca was seen giving stability to the club and a major factor in how they were able to compete against the best sides in matches. But now Maresca is gone, the players fear the team has gone back to square one, and that his departure will have a major impact on the dressing room. The source says that players believe it sends a message that it will be difficult for Chelsea to contend for trophies on a regular basis if regular change in the dugout approaches continue. And yeah, that is obviously going to be the start. That's going to be the start. And this is what is going to start with certain players, whether it's your big players like your Reece, Palmers, Caicedos, Cucurella, Fernandez. They're going to start going, hang on, it's, especially likes of probably Enzo, Caicedo, and Palmer, who have been brought in and they were sold this project. You're telling me they're not on the phone to their agent saying, this ain't looking good. Caicedo's not had his contract extended. Cucurella's had improved terms. It's not looking great. And this is what I cannot understand from us as fans, how we can see this. It's so obvious.
A footballing standpoint. Yeah.
From a football, we're just football fans at the end of the day. We're not accountants. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's accountants in here, lower level, high level, whatever. But you're seeing certain decision making where you're thinking, well, that's just obvious. You wouldn't just keep chopping and changing your managers and then we start square one. Of course, then players are going to go, well, hang on, what's going on here? It's normal. It's like if you're in any line of whatever work you're in, whether you're an admin person doing some spreadsheets and you're learning something new and you've got a manager who comes in, has a stricter way of working, but then you come and have a new manager who's more laid back. And then you're like, well, hang on, what's going on here? I'm not learning anything. It's just I can't fathom how frustrated I am, and this is why I believe. And again, whatever you want to do, whether you want to protest at home and get angry and be frustrated on your own, or whether you want to do it as a collective, that's why this is happening now. So, and what are you saying here? So we can't keep changing managers, expect and continue like nothing has happened. Exactly. I think someone has said this before. I think it's the quote about insanity. You can't keep doing the same things expecting a different outcome. And that is the kind of real term of insanity. And this is what they're doing. And I think what's actually happening now is they're trying different route, or not trying different routes, but trying different managers. And that pool of managers has got so small, they've had to go internal, which is a sister club now, to get it sorted. It's daft.
It's just daft. Like, I feel like the major, for me, the first ever red flag came when they said no to Enrique because he was too demanding for certain things. And this is the problem here. Like, if you're not going to go for the top echelons of managers that are going to be demanding, then you're going to, start dropping in quality of managers. And I'll be honest with you, I looked at that Liam Reservoir, one of the footages that have been circulated about Liam Reservoir, or how you pronounce his name. Like, seeing Liam talk in the dressing room, like, I kind of laughed a bit because I saw Matisse in him. No offense to him. Well, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, from a fan's perspective, if we can't respect him, what do you think the players who won trophies are going to say?
To be honest, look, he's someone who's got quite a soft voice like myself, and so I'm not saying that at any level, but
no, but it's like, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is the level of respect of managers only can go so far. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just keep bringing a new coach, because look what they did to Potter. They ran all over him.
Yeah, and I get that, but I don't. I think that there's going to be slightly different about him. You'd like to think, or is it wishful hope, wishful thinking? Yes, probably. So yeah, I mean, that video though, I thought it was all right. I thought it was fine. I think you'd probably laugh
Yeah.
if you probably tried to listen to what Potter was doing. You're probably just high-fiving at half-time, but
Yeah.
look,
Yeah,
guys,
of course, I'm not going to, just judge him on that, but it's like you gotta see it from a player's perspective as well. You sucked a manager who has won you made the club world champions, won them 2 trophies in their eyes, and you're bringing in someone that's won nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mike,
the respect is gonna be a bit down for the players. I think that these players are gonna run all over him in the next 18 months.
Well, and unfortunately, this is why I think, again, it's a strategy thing that they probably felt it was the right time to try and bring someone else from their sister club to do it. Mike, you're more than welcome to unhide him, but I just can't bear to read these crass messages. Like, I'm 32 now. I don't want to keep reading that sort of stuff. It's really childish. So you're more than welcome, mate, if it entertains you, but it's not going to certainly entertain me. But it's up to you. If you want to unhide it, fine. We got to stop kind of entertaining these sort of people who want to just do this because it's annoying. Sorry, Hassan.
No, that's fine.
Neto spoken on Sky Sports. Apparently, are we allowed to watch it on stream? Cal, probably not. We're probably not allowed to have anything like that. Obviously, we got the
Sky Sports are very, they're touchy with the stuff that copyright strike you.
But there was, what was the other? There was someone else's. And I'm really sorry. I've just had enough. I've had to deal with some of my colleagues that have worked today, and it's just like I can't deal with immaturity at the moment. Unless he starts behaving and talks, sense and wants to have good debates with people.
Doing it, unhide him on a different day.
Yeah, not today. So this is another tweet, which was from Dodgers, and I think Pies did it as well. So it's understood that they tried to appease some of the anger of Bluco, want to line up Rosenior's successor before announcing his appointment at Chelsea. If the final decision is taken to give him the job, so I think it's pretty obvious, to be honest. You couldn't just take Rosenior away and then leave Strasbourg with nothing, to be honest. So, but yeah. Matt, put it on your. But I don't know whether they can copyright strike it as well with the sound. That's a problem, Cal. I'm not sure. We were all upset, Toby said. Obviously, that's what Neto's saying. That's fine. Mike, add him back in. But if he does it again, he's gone. I'm going to be kind for one time. If he's going to be all right, add him back in. If he's going to do it again, he's going to go. So I'll give him one more chance. I'm going to be nice today. Bring him back in. And I want him to apologise to everyone. No, I'm joking. No, bring him back in. I'm sure he's learned his lesson to not do that, so it's fine. But yes, so obviously we actually do have a game on Sunday as well. So I was going to bring up the press conference, which where is it? Let me get this up. So Callum McFarland, Mike's dad, delivers Chelsea team news against Man City. So I'll bring this up, and if people want to obviously have a look at this, let's have a look. So this poor lad having to come in. I think it's a very difficult game, even if it was for Maresca. But he's saying it's been a crazy 24 hours, a whirlwind, as you can imagine, but it's also really enjoyable and exciting. I can only be positive about it. We don't know what the future beyond this game is, but the brief is, but the brief is just to prepare the lads for Man City on Sunday. That's all I'm focused on. We can go there looking to give a good account of ourselves and trying to obtain a good result. That's the brief, and that's what we are working on. Of course, we know we'll be facing a good team in a good form and led by a great manager. But we have good players too, and we are going into the game being positive as possible. McFarlane was asked about whether there was an update on players being declared fit to face Man City. Cucurella obviously being the main one. The Spaniard could return obviously against Man City after returning to training, but McFarlane said that defender will be assessed over the next day or so. That to me says he's not going to start. With Mark, it's positive. He's back in training. We'll see. With him, we're undecided on that. Whether he'll play, I don't know if I have the full information on that as of yet. Otherwise, we don't have any other updates on the players at the moment. Short and sweet, as we probably all expected. So, but yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I think, unfortunately, going to be completely overshadowed by the decision making of the owners and Andrew Wright, and this is why I'm in a bit of a snappy mood as well. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of everything now which has happened. In Nkunku, sorry mate if I had a little outburst at you. It's just at the moment it's just a very sad time for what's happening at our club, and I think it's kind of like we're just slowly having the plug pulled on us as well, on our life support, and we know something's going on. It's just awful. So not looking forward to it on Sunday at all. I can't expect anything. If we do, it'd be very Chelsea to probably do something, but I can expect it'll be nothing less than like a 3 to 4-1 loss, something like that. Fun fact, Maresca had a 59.8 win rate. Tuchel had a 60%. So very close.
Yes, but in the league he was around 50-ish, probably dropping to low.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So let me see. I'm going to put the link. If anyone else would like to join, you're more than welcome to. There is the StreamYard link getting posted in now. So, yeah. So, Joe, what have you said here? I'm willing to support Rosenior. The truth is that none of us know how good he really is. Every appointment, apart from maybe the top elite managers, are a risk. And I think this is a really good question here. But I think going on to that, I mean, I don't think even some of the top managers would be able to do much. I think probably maximum third. So the fact Maresca got us to where we did was a miracle, really. Mosey saying that City aren't that good. We can get a result in that game. I'm more worried about the Carabao Cup semi-final. Well, I don't think the owners are worried at all. They're not bothered. So you're probably going to see an absolutely rotated team for that. You're probably going to see all their youngsters from everywhere just starting that game. I don't expect much from that game at Arsenal at all. Not at all. So it seems to me at the moment that obviously the pretty much Rosenior is all tied up. It's just trying to then tie up and get
She's looking for a Strasbourg replacement, I suppose.
I mean, it's quite funny. I mean, they're always saying, "Oh, they're trying to sort out things." I mean, it's literally Boda going, "Yep, yeah, okay." Like, what are we doing here? Like that, it's clearly done. Like, it's done.
It's just, the media trying to drag out something and trying to milk while they can.
Yeah, well, I think Jem was saying that hopefully next week Ben Jacobs is going to join us, so it'll be very interesting to maybe ask him a couple of questions on a few things. Maybe even now we could talk about, are we going to get any January transfers in?
Yeah. I feel like he's probably one of the few that could, at least like make a clear thing of what happened, like from the apparent contradictions, because you've got Maresca's side saying, like he's kind of the victim in all of this, and you got the owners that saying he's the problem. So it's going to be interesting.
Exactly. There is 23 of you still in the building, so thank you all for joining. If you can, we're on 35 likes at the moment. The channel obviously was Gems before, but it's all reinvented and new, and it's very fresh, and the YouTube algorithms are brutal. So if you can support and help in any way, it massively helps. So if you can we would really appreciate it. There's 35 of you have liked at the moment, so thank you to everyone who has. But if you haven't, if you can, I'd appreciate it. But again, if you don't want to like, I'm not forcing anything. But Yeah, I mean, Hassan, going on to that City game, what do you think the score is going to be for that? I mean, we'll probably try and do a match preview before.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
Uh,
think?
uh, yeah, I'm going to probably reserve a lot of the things for the preview, but I will say this though, it could go two ways, but the most realistic way I think is it's just City winning us. And in a way, I would say Pep's the type of manager to, let's say, if we are 3-0 down, he'll just tell the players to sit back a bit and, go on cruise control the second half. He's not the old Pep where he wants to win 7-8-0. So there's that, but there's also the weird manager bounce that every club seems to get for like 5 games where we might nick a draw, we might nick a win. So but the most realistic one, I don't see us winning, especially no disrespect to him with the under 21s coach that's inside. But I wouldn't be surprised if we draw as well.
Well, I
But
think now,
it's just one of them where because of the situation, none of us is looking forward to it. It's just a
well,
rough
yeah,
fixture.
and I think what I was going to go on to say, Hassan, and it's probably very similar to you. I think really for all of us now, we just got to go game by game now. There's nothing else we can do. Let's be honest. I know there's pressure for us to get top four, and but in my opinion, I've gone. The season's done now, and this is what annoys me with the decision. The decision obviously, or the situation was so unattainable for Maresca that he had to leave, and that's why I think it's shame on everyone involved in this to have allowed this situation to happen, to have let a manager go so soon. So
100%, and I don't understand the fans that have wanted him out. Like
well,
I've always said to him, if you sack Maresca, who do you think Liam's gonna play? Sanchez or the new keeper?
well,
Like, it's gonna be the same players.
yeah, I think what I think you alluded to though was that the results weren't going great, and you could see that if he was to go because of results reasons, and if the narrative was before, then people would probably go, okay, yeah, fair enough. But we all know that that wasn't the reasons behind it. We all knew the reasons was obviously it all spiraled maybe earlier on, and I think it very much intensified with the
It
48
started,
hours.
I think, around the Leeds game, was it? It's probably
Yeah,
started off then and then spiraled
yeah.
on.
Yeah. So just before Toby, you've sent me the transcript from Pedro, which is great. Boffy, thanks for messaging. Said the Carabao Cup brief, in my opinion, is the worst thing they could have come out with. Just check the prize money for winning. It's 100 grand. No wonder they don't give a shit. And unfortunately, yeah, you're completely right with that. From a money point of view, it's probably nothing. But unfortunately, I put a tweet out yesterday, and this is where what football means to me, and I'm sure it means to everyone else. Football is something which has been passed down from families. It's you've had it memories when you go to games. That's what matters more from a football standpoint. Of course, winning, but it's the memories of when you win. And what's happened, especially with this ownership, is they've gutted that out of the club and they've just made this a corporate portfolio entity, and that's it. And you'll see, and I don't think it is just Chelsea. I think it's a lot of teams now, especially in a lot of these cup competitions. It's not the priority for them, but I think for us, we need to have some sort of positivity, somewhat. But then I'm going to absolutely kind of contradict myself here and say, unfortunately, well, if we do win, it then means that their model's working in their eyes. So it's really difficult. But I think from a footballing standpoint, you need to be winning every single, or putting in maximum effort on every single one.
Yeah, the aim of the game is to win.
It's weird that, isn't it? How that
Yeah, I
works.
know, right?
Funny.
But
So Toby just sent me a transcript.
I will say though, we have been around, what is it, 8-9 years without a domestic trophy, so just bring it home, man. Just bring whatever domestic trophy you can home.
Well, yeah.
Even if apparently the model's working,
Yes.
we gotta make compromises somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Booker, I think his mood started to affect the results. He was very moody in December. I mean, Booker, it probably got to the point that he was just like, I mean, I'm sure we've all been in those jobs where you just can't
You
win.
just get shouted out for no reason, despite
Or
doing
like,
what they're
I'm
told.
doing a 9 to 5 job. You've got a manager who, for whatever reason, just doesn't like you, even though you're working your hardest, and then you get someone who does nothing and then all of a sudden gets all the praise. But then imagine, I'm a business owner, right? And it's almost like if you're bringing someone in who we have no idea what you're doing, but you employ someone to do that job because you don't know. And then you sit with them and then say, actually, I think we should do it like this or do it like that. The person you employed is just going to go, I'm leaving. I'm not getting told what to do by someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And being questioned on, let's be honest, managerial decisions on what team plays, when you bring substitutes on. So then all of a sudden, I remember a lot of us saying, oh, Maresca substitutes were wrong, this and that. It wouldn't surprise me if he was almost felt that he couldn't do certain substitutions because of the situation.
He was told not to. He was told to protect assets. And the asset protection comes from, there's only one man that cares about assets, and that's Iqbali. I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like what you said before, all them kids we signed for 20 million playing the semi-final. I would not be surprised.
I mean, you never know. Toby, I do have your tweet. I'm just trying to figure out the best way of doing it. It's a lot of writing. Sort of the frustrating part about YouTube is that you can't just play snippets from a video, and I'm sure you guys don't want to see me reading a massive transcript. So, but it's obviously, if you can listen to the interview on another time, have a listen. I'm sure it's very interesting about what Pedro's thoughts were about obviously what's happened within the club. So CFC Hive, did you see the report that they forced Maresca to play certain players to retain their transfer value? So this is something I always thought actually, was that I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why they were trying to potentially force certain players to come in is, and again it goes back to over promising and under delivering. I'm sure a lot of these owners, especially the sporting directors, would have said to certain players like Hato, probably players in the past. I'm going to just focus on Hato for the moment because he came in for quite a high value, quite a sort of player. Achimpong as well probably is another one. They were probably told, Cucurella is going to be here for a certain amount of time, but we really want you to learn the trade from him. You're then going to be the new starter. And, Cucurella is probably getting to time. He's 28 now, which is in Clear Lake terms, ancient. But he was probably told, look, you're going to play more. Just learn your trade. You're going to get your minutes. Hato's not played at all. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and
then all of a sudden you're hearing that Ajax are wanting him back as well. And is that agent driven? Probably. But like to Josh Achimpong as well. He should be starting. Probably should be starting more games, but I'm not sure what the reason was for that. I think
the thing is though as well with the whole Hato situation, I also heard that from the coaching perspective and training perspective, a lot of the people don't rate him there. So it's like it's a weird situation with the Hato thing. I don't know why we signed him. I think he's one of them signings like what you said, like he was meant to be the next starter or the next thing, and I just don't know. I don't know about a lot of these signings.
I saw the idea behind the signing for, I think, 2 reasons. Clearly, Cucurella was leading, but he needed...
was supposed to leave, yeah.
he needed rotation because look what's happening to him now.
Yeah.
Now, Gusto's having to play left-back, which, in my opinion, he's struggling a bit. But, yeah. But going back to you, CFC Hive, what you're saying about the report that Maresca was forced to play certain players to retain their value, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I wouldn't be surprised. Absolutely not. You've probably seen the likes of Tosin playing and stuff. They've got to think, Jesus, we need to actually get some sort of money because then why did we bring him on a free? You'd almost probably get to the point that you'd almost have to pay a team to take him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tosin was maybe one of them because they've got to get some sort of fee. Another one is maybe Santos as well. He's one of the players which I think now, when Rossini comes in, he's going to benefit now. Because you saw the likes of potential links of him going to Bayern, things like that, that he could potentially go. Maresca may have not thought that he's just not at the level yet. I probably expected a little bit more minutes from him, but absolutely CFC Hive. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't think that's maybe just Clearlake. That's probably a football ownership thing in general, where you need to get players playing, because otherwise they're not going to understand if they're good or not. But yeah, they were actually forcing. Well, hang on, let me go back on a couple. Sorry, there's a few here. So Instinct. So I'll be honest, if it comes down to Arsenal winning the league, I'll take that through my gritted teeth. You would like Arsenal to win the league? Okay. I don't think anyone, even out my gritted teeth, I wouldn't want that to happen. So understand though, tough times are coming. So they were actually forcing my gaffer to play Totem. Well, yeah, probably. Booker is saying, Matt, do you think the chant in the Bournemouth game was a nail in the coffin? I think he pretty much lost it after he heard "you don't know what you're doing." Pretty much resigned the next day. Do I think so? It's not a great look, put it that way. But look what happened when we said that against Fulham, and then we came back and won 2-1 in the last minute of the game with Tyreek George and Pedro Neto. So yeah, I mean, it's not a great look.
I think the more final nail of the coffin is when probably Iqbal went storming down to the dressing room.
Yeah,
I think that's probably more of the.
Yeah, I mean, the look at it was about. I don't think it was a great look that if they were saying he was ill when he clearly wasn't. As soon as that happened, I thought something major has happened here. It's almost like he's gone. It's almost like if you are to resign and you just leave the office, sort of thing.
Yeah, you just walk out without notice.
I think that was his point. He probably thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I've asked for this, I've asked for that, and I'm the one getting scrutinized for it. So Booker, I probably agree that it probably wasn't nailed in the coffin, but it probably was just another sad indictment of what has happened with his relationship with the owners, and he's been the full guy for it. But in the same way, you can understand why Chelsea fans were saying that, because obviously at that point it was 2-2. You're taking Palmer off. But again, this all goes back to, is that the kind of fitness department telling him that he can only play a certain amount of minutes? So who knows? It's just a circus. Fabian Collins, Hato can perform in the defensive duties of Cucurella, but I'm not sure he's able to invert and bomb forward with the same skill as Cucurella unless you give him the necessary time to build an experience. And I think this is a difficulty, right? With my opinion of this, and Hassan, I'll ask you after, because of how competitive not only the league, but the Champions League now, but I'm going to talk more about the Premier League. Because of how our squad's been built and how inconsistent we are, we almost can't afford to give not training days out for certain players to develop, but we almost can't afford to have a second string player playing in a certain position, because we need the points so desperately. And I think this is what's happened. And I think especially when we played was it Karabag where Hato was on? I can't remember now. It was a Champions League game we were in, and he obviously struggled. Really, since then, you've not seen him at all. And I think since then, he's probably gone, look, I can't take that risk. I need to have my strongest team, especially in defence as well, where, let's be honest, centre-backs aren't strong. So imagine if you have a nervous left-back there as well in Hato. And this is why it's so frustrating about the whole experiencing as well. We almost needed Thiago Silva to just be a couple of years younger to stay and just have kept these core players together. I don't know what you think about that, Hassan.
Yeah, it's just like what I said before with the whole situation. I think the coaching staff and all of these lot don't rate Hato. I mean, we have also seen it in a couple of games where he struggled. I just think that he's one of them players that were made false promises. And I just saw a tweet now an hour ago that Maresca left the dressing room without saying a word or anything. So I think what we said before, like he probably just walked out the door without notice and just said, "Yo, I've had enough." But yeah, back to the whole Hato situation.
It must have got that bad to do that. So Chelsea Blue, said, I think we're overacting because Maresca left. We took him from the trenches, clouted him, and he's left us as things got bad. And look, everyone's allowed their opinions on this. in terms of why, Maresca, look, at the end of the day, if you're thinking it from that point of view, look, Maresca's, it was starting to become a sinking ship with his performances. It was becoming even more inconsistent, let's say, when he was there. So if people are expecting
He gave us that belief in a big game and in a semi-final that we could actually, take on a team. That's what was missing at this club.
Yeah, and Maresca was the only one really to challenge the big boys. The others really kind of, let's be honest, cowered in their performances against them. But in terms of the games where we were losing points, the low, the mid blocks, I mean, another good example was that Newcastle game. If we had someone with better quality on the left, we would have won that in the end. But because Garnacho didn't have his shooting boots on again,
and didn't track back,
and didn't track back for again, let's say, because he did it against Brentford for the Villa goal. I think us, and there's a collective of fans who are, I wouldn't say not necessarily happy for Maresca to go, but they're not overly bothered. And like Chelsea Blues here saying us, I think we're overreacting about it. I can respect that, but I think there's a collective as well who are disappointed because we realised that we did have a good potential in that manager. We just didn't back him enough. Fabian Collins again.
In our eyes as well, he's took us to 3 semi-finals in 18 months. So it's like,
well, that's another stat for you, isn't it? So, but they ignore those stats because it doesn't benefit. Well, it doesn't make them look better. If you can't give the young squad players the playing time to learn and make mistakes like Santos, Josh, Hato, and Asugo, then it defeats the purpose of the entire project. Cup ties aren't enough. And I think this is where it's really difficult with this whole model. And thanks for that message. I think what's difficult about this is that, and this is only my opinion from this model, is that, yes, you do have to give the young players the time. But I just don't think as a club of Chelsea, you can give a complete squad time to do that. And this is where in football, I think you can't be playing these sort of games where you have a full team of youngsters because it's never been done before. Yes, you can incorporate certain players, maybe like a Palmer, who is just a complete maverick and a unicorn. But when you've got other players who are developing, I mean, it happened pretty much throughout, even at the last embers of Abramovich, that, when Lampard was involved, we had Aspie being the right back, and we all wanted Reece, but it took time. And I just find with these sort of players like a Santos and maybe, Josh, I think Josh should have had way more opportunities. And maybe Santos, but the Hato one, I think is quite fundamental that Cucurella's just, he was almost, you can't replace him at that point. But I totally agree. It does defeat the whole purpose of the model. And I think this is why, from the owner's point of view, they are probably putting pressure because they're saying, look, we've got all these assets. We've got to use them. Otherwise, we've got agents on the phone. So it does defeat the whole object of the project. But unfortunately, in football, and I think it's the same saying, it's a winning game. And we can't just be here to be a work experience team for players to get loads of minutes all the time. But then I can counter argument that by saying, the only way you get experience is by playing minutes and getting minutes. So it's a mess that they've created, and there is a flow and a way of doing it by giving them minutes. I think how they managed Esteval pretty much beginning of season, giving him 20 minutes here, half an hour here was great. I think even how Maresca did deal with Hato at the beginning when we played Liverpool and brought him on, I thought it was fantastic in that game. That's when you would do it. But the problem was, we are so behind now with points that every point is precious. So we have to make sure our strongest team's out. And that's why I think Maresca at that point was like, look, I can't be playing work experience because you're moaning at me that I'm not getting the wins. I've got fans on my back and getting all this noise from everywhere. Ultimately, my role here is to get wins. And if I can't do that by putting my strongest team out, it's not going to happen. So Booker saying here, it's a lose-lose situation either way. Play the inexperienced players and lose games. He gets criticised. Don't play them. And this is what I'm saying, Booker. It's a lose-lose, and this is unfortunately it's the model's making in that. Chelsea Blue, he was 3 in 15 games last season in the league, 1 in 7 this season. Yes, he won the Conference League and Club World Cup. Maresca egos just got too big. His coaching cost us 15 points this season from winning positions. So I assume Chelsea Blue, you're quite a big fan of Maresca from that. So with that in mind, Chelsea Blue, are you looking forward to Rosenior then, and what he's going to bring. I think from a black and white point of view, from what you're saying there, the stats aren't great. And this is what I'm saying in terms of the counter arguments. That's why I like doing these.
To counter Chelsea Blues situation, what do you think the players? Who do you think Liam was going to pick? I can tell you that right now. Sanchez, Gusto, James, Enzo, Caicedo, Garnacho. Do you want me to keep going? Because it'll be the same players. And we'll end up getting this exact same result. It'll be a different tactic. I don't know what tactic it will be, but it'll be the exact same results every time. At what point do we turn around and say it's the players, it's the models, and it's the owners? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think again though, what I can appreciate those is fans who weren't happy with him from this point of view, and this is what's very hard about it overall, is that if you're looking at it from a managerial point of view and you're seeing that, you know, 1 win in 7 isn't great, he was 3 in 15, that's not great. So from that point of view, you can understand that people are unhappy, and I wasn't happy with that. But then you've got to see the bigger picture of it as well, that his hands are tied behind his back, the quality of players isn't there, and he was asking for X amount of players and didn't get them. So even though, yes, Chesley, I agree with what you're saying somewhat, there's another side of the story which isn't helping that situation either.
He also said at the end of the window, along with his coaches, he told everyone that his squad was good enough to win the league or Champions League.
But all you can say is, look, you're saying, so Chelsea was saying, yes, he won the Conference League, the Conference League and the Club World Cup. Maresca's ego got too big. Well, you got to think that he probably had all this noise from last year as well and delivered what he did with the squad. So I don't think necessarily his ego got too big, but it was probably more he thought, actually, do you know what? I'm not a yes man. I've got to have a bit of a voice here and start saying my opinions, because otherwise it's just going to go one way. So I don't think his ego got too big. I think it's just he probably felt that he was promised certain things and didn't get them, and that's why he's done that, because
he's Italian, man. They got that passion and pride when it comes to football, man. They got that standard. I don't know how to describe it to you, man.
He's allowed. I mean, he's allowed to be passionate. But look, Chelsea Blue, I appreciate the message, and and I appreciate your opinion. Always respect it. So, Instinct, you were saying that you weren't saying that Arsenal were going to win. You didn't want Arsenal to win the league. Okay, so if I misconstrued that, I do apologise. Instinct, if you can let me know your reasonings a bit more behind that, I'll happily run through that a bit more. I want to see. I like Maresca, but see that Leeds performance reminded me of Ipswich. After Ipswich last season, I wanted him gone, and that's fair enough. I get that. Remy, happy New Year to you, mate. I'm French, and Strasbourg Ultras are going to go nuclear when Rosenior leaves. They're going to riot. In my opinion, it's the biggest own goal. Yeah, and I think we're never going to know this, but I do wonder if they try to keep Maresca until the end of the season. Maresca just said, no, I'm not doing this. And I think they've gone, okay. And now that's why they've had to react in this way by bringing someone internally. They don't probably, I mean, in my opinion, I'm surprised they didn't try and bring someone in who was more, what's the word, until the end of the season. But who are you going to get at that point? But then, like they're saying, they've still got multiple competitions, and probably the big one for them is Champions League to stay in. So that's probably why they thought, right, well, let's cast the arm whilst it's hot. Let's try and actually proceed with our multi-club model and bring Rosenior in now. It's a huge error from Blue Co for this, and they'll try and make out that they're all happy, and they're not. I'm telling you, this to them, that they wouldn't have thought of this happening at all. 100%. I think they're going to. It's going to be messy, but I think what's going to be, again, if you're going to the protest or you're in protest and spirit or whatever it is, I think you're not. I don't think you're alone now. Whereas before there was like a small minority who were doing it, and then the majority were like, "Oh, this isn't going to work." I think now there's a bit of there'll be more momentum, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But one thing I don't want to do is I don't want there to be any pressure on the protest either. So if it doesn't go well, I don't want them people to kind of then say, "Oh, see, it was never going to work," because you got to give credit to the people who are doing it. They're taking their time out. They're bringing these, boards up to do it. So fair play and respect to anyone who is wanting to do it, because they are passionate enough about their club and what's going on to try and change it. But happy New Year to you, Remy, as well. So who else? We've got quite a lot of messages here, so I'm trying to run through this. Hammond, good to see you. I hope you're well. Jimmy Blue, I hope you're well. We can only get better than what we've been recently, surely. Absolutely abysmal performances. We know what we're capable of on our day. Yeah, it's very true. I don't think we've had a reaction from our having a new manager for a very long time. So I bloody hope we get some sort of reaction soon, because we never had that manager bounce. We never had it at Potter. It was awful. But I don't think we're going to get as bad as the Potter era. I think it's going to be frustrating, but I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope Rossini does really well and it shuts me up. I think it'll be great. But no, from that point of view, yeah, we were in the gutter, and I think it was kind of coming to an end anyways. I didn't think it was going to be so much in January. I thought it was going to be more Feb. I just think after what happened with him not being at that press conference and after the match, I thought something's major's happened there, because that's kind of like an obligational duty that you have to do it. So the fact that he didn't is major. Chelsea Blue, only reason that I was Maresca out is because when players learned his system, they got dull. Prime example, Palmer 5 goals in 2025 over recent Joao Pedro, looks so fluid in the Club World Cup, as he also learned the system. But again, yeah, I get that. So you're seeing it more from player performance point of view as well, and I totally get it. So absolutely, no, you're spot on there, and I don't disagree. Toby, I sent you a tweet. Okay, show who owns how much at Chelsea. Todd Bowley only owns 12.8%. Thanks, Toby. Sorry, yeah, I will bring that up right now. Actually, thanks, Toby, for doing this. I appreciate it. It's interesting. Right, let me just get this one. Yeah, I think we kind of knew the breakdown before, but we might as well bring it back up now. Let's have a look. Okay, so breakdown of Chelsea ownership under Blueco Consortium. Egg Barley, Jose Elefesiano, Clear Lake Capital, 61.5% stake. Wow. Todd Bowley 12%, Mark Walter 12%, and Vice is 12% as well. That's a big chunk. I didn't realize it was that large, but that's a huge chunk. Thanks, Toby, for that. It's a huge chunk, and that's not nice to see. And I think that's why as well we need something to change. So we need Todd to get a rocket up his arse and start getting some Avengers of his own to try and buy them out. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know, but we can only hope. Hammond, sincerely, I've given up on my club. I just care less right now about it. I don't feel pain no more. And I think it's a very somber mood. I think in general with all of us, we're all kind of devoid of what to really say, because we all know what the problems are. We've not got any control. And I think as well, I don't know if it's the same for you, Hassan, but I feel very numb when Chelsea concede now. Very much like you kind of like, okay, whereas before, especially when we were a big boy club, things felt different when you conceded, and when you lost, it was more like, oh no, we're going to be just moaning about the same things again and again. And I just feel, I don't blame people for giving up, and I think this is why people are starting to feel that they're at a point that they've got to have their voice heard, because typing it on social media and doing certain videos isn't enough. They want to have numbers and have a protest, and that's what protests are. you want to share your views in a peaceful way. So I agree, Hammond. It's not fun times. Clinton, hope you're well. Maresca was bound to go. It was only a matter of when, of him insisting. Him insisting on the touchline winning stuff when clearly they can't dribble. The man was super frustrating. Let's not even start with Palmer on the left-hand side shifts. Yeah, I mean, look, I think all of us in general thought he was not going to be at the end of the season unless it was a bloody miracle. So yeah, I understand that. Get a hardcore Strasbourg fan up on stream. Yeah, I'm going to speak to Jem about that. Because I think what we're wanting to do soon is do a lot of more collaborative streams with Pies and Con and things like that, and obviously more with Jem and Cons and Pies' connections. I think it'll be really good to actually have a chat with a Strasbourg fan to understand from their side as well. Like, you know, we can collectively grieve together, let's say. But it'll be very interesting to see from their views how they feel, and I'm sure it'll be very similar. But yeah, really good point there, Toby. I'll let Jem know that. Jimmy Blue, Chelsea always come through the shit and win something eventually. It's our culture. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. And I think that's why a lot of people said, look, it wouldn't be surprising if under this ownership at some point that there is a miracle, we do win something. Because it is in our culture. You know, look at what happened when we were under Tuchel. Yes, we had a big boy manager then. But look at the players, really, the squad. Rudiger wasn't in the squad before Tuchel came. You had Timo Werner, who was really not doing well, and you know we won it. So it wouldn't surprise me. It is something in the air with Chelsea with Champions League sometimes. Toby, and the media keep saying Boehly is the owner. Yeah, I think that's just more of a because he was there from the start. But I totally agree. I was thinking on the weekend, I wonder if there's going to be any songs said about the ownership at all, and I hope it's not aimed at Boehly, which I don't think it will. Now. Sorry, Hassan, I'm just trying to do my due diligence and we'll get back to
No, take your time, man.
Why isn't Eghbali known to the main media then? I think he will.
It's
now.
Because at one point, to help you out, the first couple of years, Boehly was the face of Chelsea and day-to-day operations.
Mm-hmm.
So Eghbali was more or less like that investor, but he just kept himself behind the scenes. Maybe it's because he probably does Maybe it's because he's probably an egotistical man. Let's be honest. Like he probably doesn't like criticism. He probably doesn't like to be proven wrong. So he's probably put Boehly there to take all the crap for what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, Eghbali's probably thinking, "God, I'm glad I'm not getting that noise." But I think what's happening now is more you're seeing like Alex going on Talk Sport and Chelsea Fan TV being on Talk Sport. That name Eghbali is getting more and more out there now, and I think more people will be aware of.
Yeah, I've been trying to push the Eghbali thing for a bit of time now, because it's going on the wrong people for whatever reason.
Yeah. There's 34 of you guys in here. We're on 41 likes at the moment, so we can get to 50. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, it's a new channel because obviously, and I appreciate everyone who's joined from who was over here on YouTube before with Jem on GNA TV, or if you were there on playback before. Obviously, it's all new algorithms again, so we're trying to play catch up with everyone. So any support to just press a like, it would really help us just trying to get more awareness out there of who we are and build the community as much as possible. So if you can, that'll be fantastic. So Remy obviously was here before talking about Strasbourg, was saying that Strasbourg Ultras are organising protests on the 18th of Jan before the home game against Metz. It's going to be a very toxic situation for Luco. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if the two fan representatives got together and said, "Let's do it on back-to-back dates."
I mean, it looks like you've got Avengers and DC here going together, uniting against the baddies here. It's great. I'm all for it, and it's like I said before, it's their own doing. So they got to deal with this noise now. It's on them. Are they going to change? Probably not, but if we can disrupt and do anything to make it a bit of a pain, I think it's good. I think it's worth it. Shard, thanks for the message, mate. Good to see you. So if you don't protest in the grounds in front of a televised audience, the protest will be ignored. Any actions must be done in the bridge if you want action can affect to proceed. Yeah, and I'm sure there's connections with a lot of these big guys who are doing the protest and making people aware. I mean, today, obviously, Chelsea Fan TV were on Talk Sport saying that there is a protest. So I'm sure there'll be more and more talking about it. And, again, I think you're right. It has to have some sort of a media backing, not media backing. Sorry, it's got to be viewed by the media for it to create more attraction and more noise, for it to be spread around about how we're not happy about it. So yeah, absolutely. Luke, I'm just hoping to see Palm on the right hand side with Gusto James overlapping. We will see. I actually wonder how many Strasbourg fans are angry now with the news. Obviously, they had ultras before, but that was a small percentage. Yeah, I'm sure now. I mean, could you imagine if it was the other way around and Strasbourg were starting to build momentum? They had a fantastic season last year, but imagine now then all of a sudden that their manager is going to get taken, and it wouldn't surprise me if we start then poaching the players back as well from Strasbourg, who we've originally sold to them, and probably ironically will bring them back. But I think probably on the Chelsea side, it's more of a collective. But I believe now, like you were saying there, Luke, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a large percentage is going to start getting more irritated from there as well. So
yeah, I feel so bad for Strasbourg. They're just our feeder club.
I feel terrible for them. I mean,
Imagine knowing that you're just a feeder club to a bigger club.
Yeah, I mean, so my dad's a huge Portsmouth fan, so being a smaller club, and understanding the kind of behind it, like it's a very community-based club. It's all to do really with it's only the city really supports. So, from a community level, it's just terrible. And how it's come out saying Eghbali doesn't really care about it as well. It's just like, what an awful thing to your owner to come out with about your club that you've had generations going to watch, memories, and it's like, that's the club you love and you feel you're a part of as a family, and it's like, we don't care about it. It's just an awful look. But thanks, Luke, for that. Yeah, I agree. I think a large percentage will happen. And saying well done on the stream tonight. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for liking. Yeah, no, I appreciate everyone as well who's been on here. Look, I know I'm not Jem, but I've got to try and get my face out here more so people know who I am, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. But always come up on stage as well if you want to. So yeah, but no, thank you, Ange, for that. I appreciate the support as always. James overlapping with injury history. Good luck with that. Yeah, I'm sure you're going back to what was obviously said before. Look, if we can just try and keep Reece James fit, I'm happy wherever he goes on the pitch. He can go and goal for all I like. He'll be amazing. So Toby was saying, can't wait to see Pies with a microphone up front of the pro. Yeah, you have a big megaphone singing Alejandro Garnacho probably. So sorry, my dog was moaning. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll see what happens with the protest. But look, guys, we've been on for an hour and 40 minutes now. I don't want to take too much more of everyone's Friday evenings. Now's your chance if you want to come up on stage before we go for like 10 minutes. But if everyone is happy to kind of leave it there, we'll leave it there, and we'll see what else happens tonight and on the circus of Chelsea. I'm sure something else will happen, but it looks to me that Rosenior is done. It's just awaiting someone else to take over at Strasbourg, which I believe is a guy from, I can't remember his name now. I should have got out before. But yeah, so I'm sure they just need to get their replacement, because my lord, if they don't have their replacement done and they just take Rosenior, I think obviously Remy said it would be nuclear. I think it'd be world ending for them if that happened. I think it'd just be awful. But we'll see. Yes, Toby, I saw that as well. Obviously about the president of Strasbourg might be resigning. I mean, I said that earlier in the stream. It's a sinking ship. Everyone's going. They're seeing this mess and they're going, I don't want to be a part of this. Imagine if you're a part of that. You're just like, what is this mess? It's terrible. Save yourself before. I've seen people saying, Rosenior, don't join to save yourself. Mental. Hassan, I don't know if you want to say anything before we finish off at all.
I guess my last sort of message is just for the fans and for the guys that are going to the protest, don't do a United where you just go there on a match day and you protest and then you go into the match or you go into the store and buy stuff because you basically defeat the point of the protest. That's all I was gonna say. And I thought that the protest was going to be midweek, somewhere away from match day. So my only fear is that a large portion of the protest is the people are going to go to the match straight after. It's just try to boycott the club and just make the money here because these guys are businessmen. That's all they want to see. They want to see growth. They don't want to see decline.
Well, and this is where it's very difficult, right? Because the way you do it is trying to go in their pockets. That's the cliche, right? With trying to attack an ownership is that words don't mean anything to billionaires. Trust me, those billionaires have probably said horrendous things to each other and still got deals over the line. But the way you do it is by disrupting. And I think, and this is my lasting point on it, is that anyone who wants to go to the protests, please do. The numbers will help. If you don't want to protest, but you'll protest from home, all for it. If you don't want to protest at all and you feel it's not worth it, I respect that too. So whatever way you want to go with it, I think it's absolutely fine. But look, Chelsea fans, we have had enough. And I think the fact now we have had enough and we're doing these protests, I think it's a big sign. And I think the fact that you've got these bigger guys now doing it too, it's not just some lower people, probably like myself on 100 followers, try and do it. I think it says a lot. And just lastly, Josh, and I don't want to put a dampener on us, imagine if the stadium was empty. Well, unfortunately, Josh, for years, Stamford Bridge might as well be empty with our atmosphere. So and it's only Champions League nights that we are awake. But look, guys, have a great evening. Hassan, thank you very much for coming on stage. It's very difficult to talk for this long on your own, so I appreciate you being on here.
Guys, thank you, man.
Thanks for making this entertaining with your tweets. And Kunku, if you want to come back, please do. But just remember, talk about Chelsea. But yeah, I hope everyone's going to have a good evening. Thank you, everyone. And up the Chelsea, maybe? Up the Chelsea.